And welcome to Wednesday's show. This one falling on the 13th day of April. By the end of this work week, we'll be halfway through this month already. The good news is it's feeling more like what it should for the middle of April. We've got high pressure that's going to stay in control, keep this beautiful weather sticking around throughout at least the end of your weekend. After that is about the first, really, well, not about, it is the first mention of any real precipitation at all for us. There's an upper level disturbance in a day or so that might give a few light showers to those, and I think it's going to be way to our south, not an issue for us. So hope you have time to get out and enjoy some beautiful weather that indeed is still in store. Highlights and headlines tonight will include underage drinking, the town hall forum yesterday. We'll hear from some experts. We'll hear from some young people, and you will hear some details that will surprise you, I think, to say the very least. Specifically, off the top of my head, how many millions of dollars do you think kids are spending on alcohol each year in Kentucky? However, headlines tonight will begin with a traffic stop. Speeding while carrying pounds of marijuana didn't work out for two women in Breathitt County after the Kentucky State Police, doing traffic patrols, observed a 2015 Lincoln passenger car traveling at more than 70 miles per hour. He pulled over the trooper in question. That vehicle for traveling 72 miles per hour last evening before 8 o'clock. After the traffic stop, the trooper in question also immediately noticed an odor of marijuana coming from what would be 2.2 pounds of the illegal weed inside. The driver was identified as 55-year-old Peggy A. Gandy from Hazard. She was given field sobriety tests on site and failed, according to police reports. She did admit to authorities that she had taken prescription medication. In an effort to find any illegal drugs in the vehicle, a K-9 unit was called to the location of the traffic stop, and ultimately more than 2 pounds of marijuana was discovered. There was also a passenger in the car, 36-year-old Sasha L. Hendon. Hendon was also taken into custody as well, related to the possession of the marijuana. As for Gandy, she was charged with trafficking in marijuana over 8 ounces, less than 5 pounds, as well as the speeding infraction and failure to wear a seatbelt. She was also charged with driving under the influence, while her passenger was charged with trafficking in marijuana. Both women were lodged in the Three Forks Regional Jail in Beattyville. Upon my inquiry just before airtime, they had both been released on bond. In local headlines, authorities responded to what could have been certainly a serious incident and accident earlier today on Route 7 near what we all refer to as the Minix Curve. It was under investigation by commercial vehicle officer Darvin Marcellet of the Kentucky State Police as to what caused the tractor-trailer rig to go off of the roadway and nearly strike a home. But we do know that no other vehicles were involved, no oncoming traffic was involved, and no one in or near the residence was involved either. As for the as for the coal truck, it did leave the roadway. You could see skid marks as the operator tried to stop it just before it collided with a parked car, which then came into contact with one of the buildings next to the home. As for the cause of the accident, it was still under investigation, but fortunately no injuries resulted. We've got headlines including our town hall forum and meeting on underage drinking. There is some information I think that all parents need to know, and some that probably many parents do not know. I'll be right back. For high-speed internet starting at 15 meg for all of your gaming, movie, home, and business solutions, or to watch TV, including your favorite local channels without a contract, with hundreds of channels and digital and HD quality, and to stay connected 24/7 with friends and family, a direct line to 911, or to give your business the link it needs, choose telephone service you know is always there. Just click on their link on this site to find out how affordable the latest technology in communications can be. Foothills Communications. I sat in on yesterday's town hall meeting concerning underage drinking, not just in McGoffin County, but in the region, state, and beyond. A panel of experts, an audience of young people, the ultimate target of yesterday's information, as well as their parents. Of all the problems and issues that our youth and parents face, underage drinking may be the largest, but it also may be the most accepted. I don't know if we all give us enough credit for being as serious as it is. Is that a fair assessment today?
That's a fair assessment. Yes, it is.
How would you consider that to be a fair assessment?
Well, when you're looking at the data that we have available, we do show that in our Magoffin County, we're just a little bit higher than even some of the surrounding counties. And underage drinking remains one of the #1 youth substances of choice. Well, it's available. It's one of the things.
And alcohol is the #1 drug of choice among youth per every national, state, and regional survey seen. And ease of access is often the reason. They don't have to go very often beyond their own kitchen to get their hands on it. Based on the current KIP survey, which is done on the county, regional, state, and national level, a series of 120 questions given to students, including those in Magoffin County last year, one of those questions was when, if you ever have, experienced or been exposed to alcohol. The percentages are as follows. Of the 6th graders questioned at the time, 4% said they were under the age of 12. 8th graders, that number went to 14%, which is right around the state average. 10th graders, above the state average at 12%. And for 12th graders, about 8%, which is just a little below the state average. But numbers for 8th and 10th graders, the middle two there in the graph, are significantly above the regional average. The region being the 5 counties of the Big Sandy area.
Every 2 years we get a mini grant from SAMHSA, and it focuses on prevention for underage drinking because it's a national problem, and we fall right in as one of the counties that has a high rate of underage drinking. So we bring together experts that deal with youth that, they may have justice involvement, they may have problems at school that they've been cited for. And these people that's here today to talk to us is going to give out the information needed that youth will know the consequences if they're caught at school, if they're driving under the influence, and then looking at some of the data that will back that up and show that alcohol poisoning is one of the great dangers that we all fear. And every 2 years we try our best to bring awareness so people will talk to their kids, will be tuned in to the fact that this is a problem. They are still going to the strip jobs and the back roads and the parking lots, and even considering powdered alcohol now. You can hide it. You can. It's just very accessible.
The town hall meeting to prevent underage drinking, sponsored by SAMHSA and the Magoffin County Local Board for Kentucky ASAP, was a huge success, especially for several of the young people in Magoffin County who volunteered their time to attend the event. Keynote speaker Rachel Willoughby, who is a prevention specialist with the Regional Prevention Center, presented on the prevalence of underage drinking in Magoffin County, as you heard, compared to regional, state, and national levels. She spoke of how underage drinking is the leading contributing factor in injury and cause of death under the age of 21. She also spoke of the proven physical, academic, social, memory problems, all associated with it as well, and the higher rates of physical and sexual assault, suicide, and homicide. And she also had hard numbers that show the minimum at which kids are spending and drinking in Kentucky, which is quite troubling.
We're trending down in Kentucky. We're below the national level, and regionally, we're trending down from the state level. But the money's still going up. In 2015, underage drinkers consumed 15.8% of all alcohol sales in Kentucky. 2010, which is the newest data that we have, cost data, it was up 16.5. That's not a huge jump, but it's a huge jump to me when we're talking about a 15-year-old drinking that alcohol. I mean, it matters. When we're talking about the sales, I mean, it's amazing to me that kids have the money that they have. That's a lot of money that we're applying, that is being sent in for sales to these alcohol companies that we don't even have that much money to work with on the state level for a year in prevention. So that's very disheartening.
And in addition to underage drinking accounting for nearly 17% of all alcohol sales in the state of Kentucky, which is also $276 million of those sales, other numbers show that it costs Kentucky $69 million a year in medical costs, $193 million a year for lost work, and over $427 million in pain and suffering. The expert panelist was made up of others including local county attorney Greg Allen, McGoffin County Sheriff's Deputy Jonathan Holbrook, Joe Weddington of the Kentucky State Police, and retired Major of the Kentucky State Police John Blanton. And most importantly, these young people who left with more information and a better understanding of underage drinking in hopes that they would take that message back to school and to their friends.
I'm Cassidy Lovely.
I'm Micah Shepherd.
Dustin McCarty.
Leah Bailey.
And Kenny Conley.
My favorite part of the whole presentation was when it showed a 15-year-old's brain who doesn't use alcohol versus a 15-year-old's brain who's a heavy drinker. And that just completely shocked me to see the lack of activity after you've been heavy drinking at a teenager.
I was really surprised to learn that most people tried their first drink of alcohol more than just a sip or two in 8th grade.
Well, I didn't know all the different types of containers that the beverages, alcoholic beverages that were offered in, how they look so similar to the other. They don't look like alcoholic beverages, but they are.
And if you or your child ever need any information or assistance in dealing with what could be deadly decisions or any type of substance abuse issue or problem, the doors are always open and the lines are always available for the McGoffin County Local Board for Kentucky ASAP and our local drug-free communities agencies. This just in on your McGoffin Farm Bureau community calendar from the Rumpke Company. Due to a mandatory meeting tomorrow, they're collecting your garbage for Thursday's pickup very, very early. You need to have it out by 5 in the morning. Put it out tonight or extra early in the morning. They will be making runs tomorrow, their normal route, just very early tomorrow for Thursday's collection. Once again, have it out there by 5 if at all possible. Revival coming up at the Bradley Free Will Baptist Church starts Sunday night at 6. It's nightly next week thereafter at 7 with James Kelly Cottle. Join them on Burning Fork Road at Bradley Free Will Baptist for Revival starting Sunday night. Other announcements include a fishing tournament hosted by the Sagersville Fire Department. It's their second annual tournament. It's going to be on Paintsville Lake. It's going to be from 7 in the morning till 1 in the afternoon on May the 14th. Guaranteed payout $1,000. And, of course, the big fish pot as well, just $10 per person, $100 per boat to enter. If you have any questions, call the fire department 349-3256. A couple of workshops put together by the McGoffin County Extension Service, and they're next week. Thursday, they'll be at noon. They'll be talking about raised bed gardens, how to build. They'll have a hands-on construction demonstration as well. And then Friday, they'll go over how to get the most out of your small garden that you just learned how to build. That is next Thursday and Friday at noon at the McGoffin County Extension Service. And I think that's it for a relatively short calendar tonight, which gives me just a second to remind you before we go to further announcements that you can send your birthday, anniversary, or calendar announcement like you just heard to us any way you want to get it in, and we'll tell everyone about it. And remember, you can catch our program the following day on our website at yournewstoday.com. Obituaries brought to you by the McGoffin County Funeral Home, beginning tonight with the services to be held in honor of 83-year-old Merlene Gullett Isaac of Mudlick Road, who passed away this week. She was married to Wade Isaac, who survives, and she's also survived by sons Marcus Castle, Billy Joe, Wade Jr., Keen Matthew, and Adam Isaac, as well as daughters Judy Williams and Sheila Prater. Visitation is this evening. It continues all day tomorrow and up until services, which are set to begin Friday morning at 11, all from the McGoffin County Funeral Home, with burial following at the Isaac Cemetery on Flat Fork. Samuel Conley, 59-year-old Samuel Conley of Old Lick Creek Road, passed away on Monday, the son of the late Raymond and Ruby Adams. He was married to Gail Morgan Conley, who survives, and he's survived by son Ryan Conley and daughters Heavenly Joy Fairchild and Samantha Perkins. Visitation will be after 5 tomorrow and prior to services, which are going to begin Friday afternoon at 1, all from the Sagersville Funeral Home. Burial will follow at the Conley Cemetery on Route 40 here in McGoffin. And 77-year-old Alkie Faye Tackett Swihart of Horsepen passed away Sunday. She was married to Richard Swihart, who preceded her in death. She is survived by sons Richard, Mark, Christopher Allen, Daniel Lee, and Patrick, and also a daughter, Sheila K. Swihart. Visitation is going to be after 5 o'clock tomorrow, and then prior to Friday morning services that are set to begin at 11, all from the Salyersville Funeral Home Chapel. And arrangements are still incomplete at this hour, I am told, for 17-year-old Seth Alexander Barnett of Houston, formerly of McGoffin County, who passed away on Tuesday of this week, the son of Michael and Betty Carol Barnett. He's also survived by 3 brothers, Zachary, Michael, and Brian. Arrangements are being made at the McGoffin County Funeral Home and to be announced soon. In other headlines tonight, a tasty story that I ripped out of the Floyd County Times. The world of competitive eating is a big one, and it's made its way to Billy Ray's in Prestonsburg last week. For the full story, go to the Times, but I can tell you that it's a story worth more than just a few pounds. The bun is a pound, the fries are a pound, the burger is 3 pounds. At Billy Ray's, they are the home of the Billy Ray, the Big Billy Burger Challenge, a 3-pound double-decker topped with veggies, served with a pound of fries. It's a monster of a meal, says the Times, and I agree. And you can walk in and get one if you're up for the challenge, and up to cough up $35 for the privilege. But people have tried. A lot of people have tried. But now only one man has reportedly been able to do it. He is a professional, though. Keep that in mind. He's also been identified by the paper as Randy Santel from Missouri. And he took the challenge head on and set a record. You could get an hour to eat the meal. He put it away in 19 minutes and 51 seconds. He lives in Missouri. He owns and operates Atlas and Zeus Promotions. He's also the owner and co-founder of FoodChallenges.com. He is considered to be a world-class professional eater and bodybuilder as well, with hundreds of titles in hundreds of food challenges in, I think, over 36 states and 9 different countries around the world. And he says the staff at Billy Ray's treated him like a king, and he feasted like one at 2. So if you want to take a chance on being able to win the Big Billy Challenge, well, pull a seat up over at Billy Ray's, cough up $35. If you eat it in under an hour, yeah, there's no bill, there's no charge. You get a T-shirt, and you get your picture on the Wall of Fame next to Mr. Santel's. In our last headline, while other areas of the Mountain Parkway expansion project are taking shape, like here off exit 75, I was told last week there are 5 million yards of dirt to be moved in this project, and that might even be conservative. It might have been much more than that. I know it was millions of yards. I'll get that corrected. Nevertheless, I got an update today on the project. Contractors for the Kentucky Transportation Cabinet are starting to clear the path for the first extension of the Mountain Parkway in half a century. Right now they're working in Sagersville, and they're completing their pre-construction work that's needed to allow the project to start this summer for Sagersville's Restaurant Row. Among the final pre-construction activities, they're going to remove about a half a dozen structures that are in the planned path for the parkway through Sagersville. They also are saying that local utility companies are going to begin relocating overhead utility lines in the project area over the next several weeks. They also tell me most of the pre-construction work will occur between now and the end of June. Several structures along Restaurant Row are going to be raised. The adult daycare there to the right, the old hotel building, Don's Superloop, Puckett's Truck Stop, the Mi Hacienda Restaurant, I think are the 6 if I've got them all named correctly. And they want to advise that residents of Sagersville and drivers passing through are about to see an uptick in activity over the next few months as they prepare for construction on this particular segment later this year in the summer months. Over the last year and a half, they say they've been acquiring the land needed for this improvement project. And that process is nearly completed. Now, here is the complete forecast, and it's very short and very, very sweet, and it's not going to take a whole lot of time tonight because we've got beautiful clear sailing. High pressure going to stay in control. 40 tonight, mostly clear. A light north-northwest wind at most. Tomorrow, 71 and 45 is in the forecast. We've got 68 and 44 and more sunny, clear skies on your Friday. And check it out. These might even be a bit conservative. Sunny and clear across the board Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. 70, 74, 76. Our next chance at some precipitation, some showers. A slight one late Monday, but it's not a big hit weather-wise, so don't fret that too much. Just get ready to sit back and enjoy some beautiful, beautiful conditions. That's my time. Thank you for being a part of it. We'll see you back here tomorrow night for more of your news today.